welcome to RotoGrinders Today. I'm Jordan Cooper, a.k.a. BlenderHD. You're going to follow me on Twitter. And it's Friday, October 4th, and we'll be taking a look at some GPP strategy for NFL DFS Week 5 on DraftKings. So hit the thumbs up button on your way in the door. Give me those thummy thumbs. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell to know when we go live. We got tons of content coming out today. We got tournament takes on the YouTube channel, the Blitz show if you're a RotoGrinders premium member. And obviously we got all the tools and projections and everything. Sim Labs, we got Sim Tools, we got Gridiron IQ, we got everything you need to research the NFL DFS slates, the showdown slates, everything like that. So subscribe to RotoGrinders. Click on that link in the description. We're running a promotion right now. If you could get NFL Premium, $15 off your first month. But if you're a premium member, you could also get the add-on for the Blitz projections, which the man behind them is with us this morning. Derek Carty, you must be very busy today because we're going to be talking about a bunch of games, going game by game, putting them into tiers when it comes to GPP stacking. There's still a lot of news out there on who's actually going to be playing this week.
Yeah, there are a lot of uncertain injury situations. I think we just heard like 3 minutes ago that Mixon's expected to be out again, which I don't even know what's going on with him. He had a limited practice last Friday, and it looked like he could play. Maybe they'll probably keep him out one more week, and then just doesn't practice at all this week. Like, I want to know what's going on with him. We don't know. Brian Robinson hasn't been practicing. Zamir White hasn't been practicing. George Kittle hasn't been practicing. There's so much this week to that's kind of still up in the air.
Right, we still have Malik Neighbors to
the Neighbors thing. Protocol.
We just learned this morning that Jonathan Taylor is going to be out and miss some time. So we don't even know who's going to be starting a quarterback for the Colts, really, this week either. And I think that's a big deal. But we'll take that all into account when we put all these teams into tiers, because that's what we do on this show. Normally, Squirrel Patrol's here with me. We talk about game stacks, team stacks, ownership considerations. That's one of the big things in GPP. Leverage matters in GPP. Of course, Carty, you're more of a cash game person, but we want to piece some of these things together. We want to take advantage of correlation and leverage. And a lot of times the blitz tends to be higher on some people, lower on some people than the industry. You could get kind of unique, especially if the game's in a dome. If the game's in a dome, the game's in good weather, right? If there are a lot of plays, a fast-paced dome game, you're going to love it in the blitz. But
yeah, the blitz is going to love that.
Let's start game by game. We got 10 games, 20 teams. We're going to put them on the tier maker board. You can throw that up on the screen. We got a bunch of games that actually that excite me, and then a couple of games that good luck to you. If you stack it and it wins, then I just you just get all the money, and good luck to you on that. But let's start with the Panthers at the Bears. It is a 41 total. I think the Panthers, now that Andy Dalton is the quarterback, they're actually fantasy relevant now. But I get the sense that this week the Panthers players will be over-owned for their ceiling, but are not like awful. Like guys like Chuba Hubbard, guys like Deontay Johnson. Even you could say Leggett to a certain extent at 5,100 on DraftKings. Stacking Andy Dalton, I question the ceiling of playing a team with an 18.5 implied team total on the road. Bears defense is not awful, but not great. The Bears have been running the ball more recently than just letting Caleb Williams chuck the ball. I think you could get decent scores out of Hubbard and Johnson, but I just question the overall ceiling of this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think people are going to be drawn to the excitement of this offense looking competent now with Andy Dalton in the mix. But when you really look at it, the total's low. The projections aren't great. The first week with Dalton, they went very pass heavy after being super run heavy with Bryce Young and talking all offseason about how they wanted to be super run heavy. And then they went back to a more run-leaning, approach last week. So I agree. I'm not sure where the ceiling really is on the Panthers this week. I'm not a big fan.
But the stack is pairing Dalton and Johnson together is still fairly cheap. Maybe you don't win with the stack, but you win with what you play around it. On the other side of the ball, the Bears have a 22.5 implied total, so I would say that's a little bit more appealing to ceiling. But with Keenan Allen back, like it feels like their receiving core is a tad bit overpriced, and the ball may get spread around. I mean, Roma Dunze could always, have a big game. DJ Moore could always have a big game. I think I'm much more likely to take a shot on DeAndre Swift for GPPs as like a one-off that necessarily stacked the Bears. I mean, I'm putting the Panthers in the C tier only because of, ownership and ceiling concerns. I kind of want to put the Bears in the D tier, not because I don't think the Bears could possibly put up 30 points against the Panthers, but who do you play? Like, what is the Caleb Williams stack at these prices you should play?
Yeah, there's not an obvious one. I mean, we've only seen, we've seen very little of these three receivers playing together. We really don't know who's the lead guy here, who's getting the ball. Like it looks like, Moore and Allen, then Dunze a little below, but like we really have no idea. And from week to week, it can change. Yeah, I don't love the game environment. I don't love the prices. I don't love that you don't really have an obvious stack. I'm with you here.
Okay, next game, a little bit more appealing. I think actually this game was going to go under-owned. It's the Ravens at the Bengals. This is a 49 total. Baltimore 25.75, the Bengals 23.25. We got Lamar Jackson, we got Joe Burrow. These are obviously quarterbacks that could hit ceilings, right? Lamar with his legs, Burrow with a 303 type of day. The problem in this game is pricing. To stack Burrow, with like Chase, Higgins, like if you take one of the wide receivers plus the tight end, even with like an Eric All, it's kind of expensive. And then the Ravens, I mean, this Derrick Henry led Ravens attack. Like Andrews not being a thing anymore.
No.
I think the ceiling on Zay Flowers is limited. It's like when Lamar gets there, does he carry anyone? I mean, is this Lamar naked or Burrow double stack type of game? The only saving grace of this game and stacks is that at these prices, there are better options at every price range for all the players in this game that I don't think it's going to be that owned. It's not going to be low owned, but I don't see anyone in this game being, more than 12% owned or something. So that gets my interest. The question is, Carty, like, how do you play it? Is this like a Lamar Jackson naked and that's it? Is it a Burrow stack with no run back and that's it? I don't know. The Blitz has decent raw numbers on this game, but obviously from a point per dollar standpoint, it's not great median wise, but the pieces in this game have ceilings.
Yeah, I mean the ceiling here is it's two good offenses that could score points. I think the drawback is obviously with Lamar, there's not a great way to stack him. Both of these teams play really slow, and so I think just the total play volume in general is probably going to be low. I don't love this game. If I was going to do it, I mean, you can do Lamar with, say, Flowers. I don't think you double stack Lamar. If you do a Bengals stack, you can run back Henry. You can run back Flowers, I guess. But I'm not in love with this game.
Right, especially at the price. To me, it's the pricing. To me,
yeah. The prices are too high too. I get
right.
the lower ownership because of it is kind of the benefit here, but I really don't love it.
So the Blitz has this as a much slower paced game.
Oh yeah. Very slow paced.
Okay, and let's get to another game that has a pretty healthy total also, 47.5. It's the Buffalo Bills at the Houston Texans. Here's a team that's easy to stack. The Texans. Stroud. He has 3 receivers. He has Dalton Schultz there at tight end. You take 2 of them, and you hope Stroud goes for 303. Josh Allen has a ceiling by himself. The problem with the Buffalo receiving core now is that it's kind of like shrug emoji. Like, it seems like none of them are worth like getting there. Like Shakir, Coleman.
Shakir just got ruled out, so Shakir's not even in there. So we have even more.
Shakir's not even in. Does that? Does that make it? Does that make it easier now that Shakir's out of the offense that you could just go Josh Allen, Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid?
I don't know if it's that easy. I mean, I guess you can, but Mac Hollins has been out there a lot. They've been talking about getting.
We'll play Mac Hollins.
Well, you could play Mac Hollins, but then they've been talking about getting Curtis Samuel more involved, and this is kind of the opportunity with Shakir out. So I feel like there's not a lot of.
Why can't we play? So, but here's the problem, Carty. I'm mentioning all these guys. It's like I want to play Josh Allen at lower ownership. Do I just play Allen plus Kincaid and just hope that James Cook doesn't have 100 yards rushing?
I mean, you can, I guess. I've never been a big Kincaid guy, so I'm probably lower on this than you are. But yeah, if you want to take the shot on that, Josh Allen obviously can get there, and then Kincaid can, and he feels crappy position. So
I don't know. I just find that Buffalo is actually a 1-point favorite on the road in this game. They have a healthy team total, 24.25. I think there's going to be more ownership on the Texans side. I'm not necessarily thinking that Stroud is going to be like very owned, but I think Nico Collins is the darling. He's the top wide receiver now, like pretty much in the NFL. He's the highest receiving prop. He's 7,700. I think there's going to be a lot of Nico Collins one-off lineups. If you're going to pay up at a position that's not running back, 7,700 for Nico Collins is pretty good. He may be in your cash lineups this week. So that's why I downgrade the Texans, because if Nico Collins does well, I mean, you're not bumping out as many lineups as you would, even though to play Nico Collins differently would be to play a Stroud, Collins, Dell, Stroud, Collins, Schultz type of lineup. I prefer the Bills side, especially now that they're going to be cheaper without Shakir in. And I never have a problem playing Josh Allen at quarterback for a ceiling. So as of right now, I mean, because we're going to get to some games that may be a little over-owned. I don't mind the Bills, but I mean, this is all subject to change because we still are. I mean, we're still waiting on a bunch of stuff. I mean, literally, the Shakir news came out like literally as we were doing this show, right? Yeah. We don't even know what's going to happen by the end of the day. Okay, here's a game. Here's a game that you're going to like. And I think it matters who the quarterback is. The Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colts with a 21.5 implied team total. Jacksonville with a 24-point implied team total. Anthony Richardson, 6K. The Jaguars defense doesn't look all that solid. The Jags are favored in this game because the Colts defense pretty much sucks also. I like. Is it weird for me to say that that Trevor Lawrence double stacks, and I hope that Joe Flacco plays?
I don't think it's crazy. I would like this game more if it were in Indianapolis, in the Dome. It looks like there might be some bad weather outdoors in this one. We don't know if Joe Flacco is going to play. But yeah, if Flacco plays, it becomes a lot more appealing. If he doesn't, I still think the Jacksonville side has some appeal, especially if Evan Ingram's back this week. Not one of my favorites, but I think this one's pretty good, and I don't think anyone will really play it.
Well, right now in the blitz, Trevor Lawrence is like cash game quarterback.
Well, we'll see about that.
Oh, okay. Typically, you're the one where I point out some quarterback that no one wants to play. You get these Daniel Jones cash game quarterback. You get these 5K guys. I thought maybe you'd be a little bit more higher on Trevor Lawrence. I think the concern from a stacking perspective is, I think the receiving core is also tough to nail down. Also,
Yeah.
with Brian Thomas there, Gabe Davis still takes some roots, and then with Engram back, and then you get Etienne out of the backfield, the Jaguars could put up, you could score 5 touchdowns, and then still no one gets there.
Yeah.
The Indianapolis side, on the other hand, if Flacco's in, I mean, just
Flacco Pittman stacks with that I would be big on.
Or even Downs. I don't even mind Downs at 5,100.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Maybe it'll unlock Kalen Granson once and for all or something. But I'm interested in this. This is a game I think people will avoid a little bit more. Similarly to the Baltimore-Cincinnati game is mostly due to price. Here it's mostly due to there are slightly better options in every price range for all the guys that we're mentioning. But just to make a caveat, if Flacco does start, I think Pittman's ownership is going to exponentially go up. I mean, Pittman would be a cash game, wide receiver, pretty much like snap overnight. It's just if Richardson's there. But what do you think with Richardson? Because Richardson obviously has a ceiling at 6K, other than not knowing who to pair him with because he never carries anyone with him. What's wrong with just playing Anthony Richardson 6K naked as a GPP strategy?
You can. I mean, the upside is there. Like we saw it last week with Justin Fields. Like he kind of had a few weeks where he was just like, eh. And then you see a week where, a quarterback who can run like that, their ceiling is massive. Richardson has been terrible this year, but that ceiling still exists.
Let's go to the next game. Let's see if we could spend more. Let's see if we could spend more than 60 seconds on this game. I doubt we can. The Dolphins at the Patriots with a 36.5 total. Brissett to Mario Douglas. And Family Feud says no. Anyone connected to Tyler Huntley? I'm looking at the blitz now.
I actually don't hate Miami.
Okay, I was going to save this for the blitz show because the blitz show is typically I'm going to be playing this week. I'm going to be playing Alex Dunlap, right on the blitz show. So I'll be hosting, and I'm going to get to quarterback, and Alex is going to say something like we got Lamar. Obviously, we got Lamar. We got Kyler Murray. We got we got all these whatever Jaden Daniels and everything like that. And then you're gonna go, well, actually, Alex, there's someone have you heard of Tyler Huntley? And then his face is gonna go, I didn't even are we serious here? Are we serious? Tyler Huntley is the fact. Okay, it is the reason why this projection looks good, or you have. I mean, they have a 17. They don't even have an 18-point implied total. Is it just due to the fact that maybe they actually schemed to some point where, their skill position players are just so good that, Tyler Huntley does not have to do, much other than throw the ball 3 yards to either one of A-Chain or Tyreek Hill, and even Jalen Waddle to some extent, and just let them get yard after the catch. And then Huntley could also rush for 20 or 30 yards himself.
That's I mean, Huntley's got legs. I mean, he could rush for 50 to 75 yards. That's within the range of outcomes. And he's in such a good offense. I don't dislike Miami at all this week. Huntley has the running potential. He has great weapons around him. He's bad, sure, but he's also cheap. I don't hate Dolphins stuff this week.
But Patriots you hate. Patriots are
Patriots I hate.
Right. But is Miami good enough to make it to the C tier, or are they still would you rather play the Bears or the Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Okay. Would you rather play the Dolphins or the Panthers?
Dolphins.
Okay, so the Dolphins still get okay. They move up to the C tier. Okay, and would you be shocked if Devon Achane has 50 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns?
Not at all.
No, he's Devon Achane. If Tyreek Hill had 150 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, would you be shocked?
No, it's
No,
Tyreek.
it's Tyreek
I feel
Hill.
like people are way too down on these guys because Huntley's there now. And people always said Tua was terrible anyway. So it's really funny that everyone's like, "Oh man, now this Huntley's so bad." Like he's bad, sure, but the quality of the other players counts too.
Okay, next game. We got the Browns at the Commanders, 43.5 total. Cleveland with a 20-point implied. Washington with the 23.5 implied. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be overowned this week.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels also has a similar problem to Lamar or Josh Allen. Who do you pair him with? The Browns defense, although they, didn't do all that great last week, is not bad. The Commanders defense is atrocious. Is it weird for me to say that I have way more interest in Watson Cooper lineups than I do Daniels McLaurin lineups?
No, I don't think it's crazy at all. Daniels has been so good this year, and obviously he's young, he's a rookie, he's dynamic, he can run. Everyone loves him. But as a stack, he doesn't it's not that good. The matchup isn't great. I really don't love it this week, especially if he's going to be super high owned, which he will be.
Well, around the industry, Daniels projects fairly well. I mean, he's going to be in some cash considerations. But
he projects well on his own. But
right, the blitz is way lower. I have Daniels unders prop wise.
Yeah,
and most other places will tell you that the over, like the number's moving up more than anything else. That doesn't mean that obviously Jaden Daniels has a ceiling, right?
Oh,
I mean, he's the type of quarterback. Would you if you were to play Jaden Daniels, would you do it with a guy like McLaurin, or would you just pair him with Ertz? Because the thing about McLaurin is that, like, he's not the same like quarterback like when Alex Smith was there or something like that. Like he's not earning like 5 targets, 6 targets, 7 targets. Like he's getting these like 3 or 4 targets. They're typically going to be higher ADOTs. So like he's like, it's either he hits a big play or he doesn't. Ertz is the opposite, has no yards after the catch. But they also have all these other guys that they throw the ball to. We have to see whether or not Brian Robinson is in. What do you think? Okay, if Brian Robinson is out and Austin Eckler is in, I think that's actually a little bit more appealing for Jaden Daniels because Eckler, like Brian Robinson is more of a pure rusher and Eckler is more of a pass catcher. That I feel it's more compelling that if Eckler is in, maybe Jaden Daniels gets more passing, short passing, as well as more touchdown and rushing equity, rather than because they're less likely to rush with Eckler than they are with Robinson. So maybe this changes a little, because I wouldn't mind playing a Daniels Eckler Ertz type of lineup or, something like that if Robinson is out.
Yeah, even McLaurin, I think I probably like him a little more than you do. Over the last 3 weeks, he's gotten a 30% target share. Like they kind of said, the last couple of weeks especially, he wasn't really working with the offense. They were still kind of developing rapport. They wanted to kind of scheme some stuff up for him. I don't mind Terry if you're doing Washington to begin with. And I agree that if Robinson is out, that definitely makes this more appealing.
On the other side, Cleveland, I mean, Watson, Cooper, and Njoku. Done. I mean, it's kind of
Njoku back.
Right. Or play Akins or something, because tight end is a wasteland. So it's like, I don't mind, just pairing my tight end with whatever quarterback I have. I mean, Watson is not good. But dude, would you rather play Watson Cooper lineups or Huntley Tyreek lineups?
Honestly, I'd probably rather play the Huntley.
So you're high. I think we're going to move the Dolphins up to the B tier. Just to the car. This is, I'm going to put a caveat. This is like Carty's B tier, right? if the Browns get, I mean, ownership, I mean, remember this tier list is ownership adjusted.
Yeah.
I mean, the Browns stacks are going to be low owned.
Yeah.
The Dolphin stacks are going to be even lower owned than that. I think more people would be willing to go, yeah, I'll take a shot on Watson and Cooper. Okay, I know it sounds disgusting, but no one's going to go, yeah, let me play like a really high priced Tyreek Hill with Tyler Huntley. No, I don't think with Jonnu Smith at tight end or something, like that type of lineup, that's going to be even lower owned. But yeah, if I could put the Browns in the B tier, I got to put the Dolphins in the B tier. But
yeah,
let me just I'm highlighting a little asterisk on the screen of like right over here, like that's you get the Carty blitz bump right there. Okay, here's a game. Okay, here's another game. Let's see if we could talk about it for more than 60 seconds.
Oh boy,
the Raiders at the Broncos with a 35.5 implied team total. Denver 19, Raiders 16.5. The only thing I have I put the Raiders in the same part of where like the Panthers are, of that there are pieces of this game that are actually going to be owned on the Raiders because Devontae Adams has a hamstring injury, quote unquote, has a hamstring.
They are actually saying it's a real injury, but I mean we don't know,
right? But like Jacoby Myers and Trey Tucker are actually like Trey Tucker may actually be like the 4th or 5th highest owned receiver on the slate at like 4,100 because he's like a punt play there. I don't know. Not many people are going to be owned on the I mean, are you interested in stacking? I mean, Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Minshew, Myers, Tucker. I mean, I'm putting the Broncos in the F tier and the Raiders in the D tier.
I'm fine with that. I don't like the Broncos at all. The Raiders I don't love. Yeah, that's where they belong.
Right. Okay. We got 60 seconds out of it. That's fine. Okay. So we got three games left. A little bit more appealing. We got the team with the highest implied team total on the slate that will have probably the highest owned running back on the slate on DraftKings. But the rest of this game is really not owned, and I love it. It's the Cardinals at the 49ers. The total is 50. That's what it looks like. 49. 49ers 28.75 implied team total. The Cardinals 21.25 implied team total. And I don't know if you know this, Carty, but the guy with the highest passing prop on the entire day is Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
And he's 6,200. Not only do I think I'm going to be playing him in cash games, but with Jordan Mason being the highest owned running back probably on the slate at 7,400. Debo, especially if Kittle is out. Dude, Purdy plus 2 of their receivers, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, or just one of them even, like, seems very appealing. Leverage-wise against Mason, because the 49ers come out and maybe Brock Purdy throws for 304. And none of the receivers are more than 7K. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think of the 49ers? I put them in the A tier.
I put him in the A tier too. I like Purdy a lot. I'll probably play him in cash too. And I agree with everything you said about Mason. And yeah, I'm totally on board with this one. Especially if Kittle's out too, and then we can kind of compress, where the targets are going a little bit. I like this.
I also would not mind a Purdy Mason one receiver type of lineup where the 49ers just come out and they score 42 points and Mason still gets there. He has 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Purdy has 250 and 3 and you're fine. You're good.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, I mean, I don't think anyone's I mean, everyone was high on Kyler. It seems like it's like Kyler and the Cardinals go up and down. Like he some for fantasy at least is like he could have great games, and then everyone's like all on board sub 7K Kyler, and then they get on board and he has 9 fantasy points, and then everyone gets off board again. I don't know if this is the game where he's likely to perform well, but I mean, I don't see many people playing Kyler Murray. I don't see many people playing Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't see many people, if Trey McBride is back, paying up at tight end. I mean, the game environment has to be appealing. The only problem is that if San Francisco is up, they're much more likely to slow the game down and run the ball.
Yeah.
And if Arizona is up, they also do the same thing. Like the ceiling perspective on Kyler, like you almost want them to be down, right? For the ceiling games. And if they're up, you just get like 27 carries from James Conner. I like the ownership on the Cardinals, but I'm not sure. It's weird for me to say. It's not like it's cheap. Maybe the Cardinals are a C tier team. The fact that I'd rather play the Browns and the Dolphins should say a lot about how much I think of the Cardinals, because I don't think they're a very good team. Maybe you're a little bit higher on the Cardinals. What do you think about Kyler stacks this week?
Not really higher on them. That's kind of how I feel. There's a lot of ways that this game doesn't play out in a way that they really get there. The prices are kind of high. I don't like it that much.
Let's get to a game that I like a lot. I think there are many ways to play it. I think there's leverage opportunities even inside of the game. I think it's the best game on the slate, game environment on the slate. It's the Packers at the Rams. Packers with a 26-point implied total. Rams with a 23-point implied total. There's going to be a lot of ownership in this game, but it's spread out to a bunch of players. So, for instance, Kyren Williams will probably be the second highest owned running back on the slate for the Rams. I think Jordan Whittington at 4,600 is going to be a very popular punt play, wide receiver play. I think Jaden Reed at 6,500 is also going to be probably top 6, top 7 owned wide receivers on the slate. But there are ways to play this game. Tucker Kraft is probably going to be the highest owned tight end at 3,500. I'm not opposed to any of the guys that we just mentioned. But the thing is that for every Jordan Whittington, there's a Tutu Atwell. And for every Jaden Reed, there's a Dontavian Wicks. And for every Tucker Kraft, there's a Colby Parkinson. And for every Kyren Williams, there's a Josh Jacobs. There are ways to build this game where you're not playing all the chalk guys in your lineup at once. And when when you got guys like Tutu Atwell and Dontavian Wicks who don't need many receptions in order to hit a ceiling, I don't mind playing, if I'm stacking this game or stacking these teams. So yeah, you play Love and Kraft, but you play Wicks instead of Reed. Or you play Stafford instead of Whittington and Parkinson, you play Atwell and Parkinson. And instead of playing Kyren, you play Jacobs. I still think the game environment is great.
Yeah, I think so too. If it were going to be lower owned, I think it would be a little bit tougher to figure out like who you're stacking with. But if you're going to have some chalky pieces, it kind of makes it more appealing, I think. And the game environment itself is great. So yeah, I like this one a lot.
I prefer the pack. I think I prefer Love to Stafford.
Yes.
From a ceiling perspective, I think the Rams players have better like median scores, right? Because I think the Rams, Carty, would I be wrong? Like if the Rams actually get up in this game, we're much more likely to see 8 straight carries from Kyren Williams than we are like Stafford airing the ball out to a core of no-name receivers because Kupp and Nakua aren't there. But the Packers have no problem, with Jordan Love at quarterback. I mean, I think truthfully, Jordan Love at 6,500 is a consideration for DraftKings cash games also.
Yeah, he is.
last game on the slate. I think a game that you and the Blitz are lower on than the industry. It's the Giants at the Seahawks. This total is 43.5. Giants 18.5. The Seahawks 25. Obviously, in this game, whether or not Malik Neighbors plays. No, I think we just got the news. We literally got the news 8 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors will not play week 5. I think that makes the game even less, makes it less appealing on both sides. Also, we don't even know, truthfully, we don't even know if Devin Singletary is playing.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't practiced all week. He's probably not playing.
Right.
Unless he practiced today.
Does that mean we play Tyrone Tracy and Darius Slayton? Tyrone Tracy's 4,300 and Darius Slayton is 39. I know Wandale's 5,600. Remember, this is a GPP show, right?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about like cash games and medians and anything like that. I just don't think the Giants offense is going to be very good in this game. I prefer in this game, I like Kenny Walker in this game as a running back one-off. But if you go around the industry, Carty, I mean, you project the Seahawks much lower. Like Geno Smith and DK Metcalf project much better in the RotoGrinders projections than in the Blitz. Like RotoGrinders projections would say that 5,900 Geno Smith, that's the cash game quarterback, right? Tell me why the Blitz is a little bit lower on Seattle. They have a 25-point implied total, and the Giants defense is not good. And the Giants defense with an offense that is playing a practice squad running back and a wide receiver core where their best receiver gets 4-yard routes.
I mean, isn't that kind of the argument right there? The Giants are going to score 3 points. The Seahawks aren't going to have to throw the ball that much.
So really, that's what it comes down to, that they're just going to run over the Giants? And
I would think that's certainly part of it. Part of it, too, is also, I think, just in general, I mean, we've only had 4 weeks of the year. We don't know what type of offense this Seattle offense actually is. Like, coming into the year, a lot of people thought it was going to be pass heavy because that's what whatever his name is, Grubb was at Washington. But then all offseason, they talked about how they wanted to run the ball. But they've actually been kind of pass heavy this year. So it's a little tough to know, like, what this offense actually is. Like, if maybe the Blitz doesn't think, I mean, the Blitz thinks they're a pass heavy offense at this point, but maybe others are just assuming they're more so than that. I really don't know. The Blitz certainly has always loved Geno. He's got great receivers to work with. I think it's really just about the game environment here more than anything else.
Right. That's why it surprised me so much, Carty. It's like, oh, Seahawks have a 25-point implied total. I'm expecting Geno Smith to have a 1,000,000-point projection and DK Metcalf and all these guys. I would like this game if I mean, Lockett was limited in practice. Like, if Lockett's out, at least that like condenses the target share a little bit more. But it's not like these guys are like that cheap, like receiver core. And then what do you think about the Giants as like a vomit stack? Like I think I'd rather play Daniel Jones, Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Hyatt, like two of those guys, like than Jacoby Brissett or Bo Nix, or like, because Daniel Jones shows up with some of these like monster millie maker winning games. And Seattle gave up a bunch of points last week. It's not like Seattle's defense is like shut down, but I typically don't like playing teams' offenses going into Seattle, right? When Seattle plays at home. But I'm not going to put them in the F tier. I don't think it's crazy. I'm going to put the Giants in the D tier to play a cheapo Daniel Jones stack, just so you could jam in like Mason Williams, Henry Collins, big ceiling guys, high price guys in there. But Seattle, I'll put in like the C tier. But your opinion is going to be different depending on Like, I think I'd rather play. I think Kenny Walker is going to be. If it wasn't for the fact that Williams and Mason project so well, Kenny Walker would be the chalk of the slate at what 6,800 or whatever on DraftKings, and his ownership is just going to be like 2x less than both those other guys.
Yeah, I can see the Giants vomit stack. You run it back with Walker. With Neighbors out, I think it's more appealing because you have kind of those cheap pieces that they got to throw to somebody. So, and Daniel Jones can score points with his legs. Like, he does have ceiling. I don't mind that. And Seattle, I don't hate. I guess I just don't love it as much as everyone else.
Okay, so one thing we do at the end of the show because of Squirrel Patrol's OCD is he likes bell curves on the tier list, right? He likes symmetry. So we need to bump down a C tier team into the D tier. So Carty, would you rather play a Bengals stack or a Texans stack? Remember, this is all ownership and price considered.
Yeah. Probably Bengals.
Would you rather play a Bengals stack or a Colts stack with Anthony Richardson?
Bengals.
Okay. Would you rather play? I have to go. Okay, we're bumping it down. I have to go the other way. Would you rather play a Texans stack or a Colts stack?
I think I'd rather have Texans.
Would you rather play a Colts stack or a Commanders stack?
Commanders.
Would you rather play a Colts stack or a Cardinals stack?
Colts stack.
Would you rather play a Cardinals stack or a Seahawks stack?
Seahawks stack.
Okay, so the Cardinals are going down to the D tier. Oh, now we have to bump a B tier team down to the C tier. Would you rather play a Ravens stack or a Bills stack?
Ravens.
Would you rather play a Bills stack or a Jag stack?
Jag stack.
Would you rather play a Bills stack or a Brown stack?
Bills.
Would you rather play a Brown stack or a Dolphin stack?
Dolphins.
Would you rather play a Brown stack or a Ram stack?
Rams.
Okay, so you're bumping down the. So basically, the Dolphins end up in the B tier and the Browns end up in the C tier. So I'm going to put that little asterisk there, and then we're going to edit out me saying that there's an asterisk when the Dolphins score a bunch of points, and we're going to edit it out as if we both saw it coming. That Tyler Huntley, 220 yards and 3 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown. Tyreek Hill, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Devon Achane with 50 and 50 and a touchdown. Right? We're going to put what I just said in towards the beginning as if we're predicting that, and we're going to edit out all the asterisks there. But I'm playing 20 lineups on DraftKings, Carty. I wasn't planning on playing a Dolphin stack, but I will play one just because of you.
Yeah, I think you should have one. I do.
Well, we'll talk more about this on the Blitz show for premium members. That's going to be we're going to be recording that at 1 p.m. That'll be out later this afternoon. So get a RotoGrinders premium membership. You get all of our premium content, our tools like Lineup HQ, like SimLabs, like Gridiron HQ. We got NBA coming back this month. We got NHL coming back this month. We got college basketball coming back. We got college football going on. We got tennis and MMA. We got all the sports. Golf. You get it all. Combo Premium. Click on that link in the description. Get $40 off your first month. And Carty, tell people about the Blitz.
Blitz is really good. It projects what football players are going to do. You should get it. Lots of people love it and make money. That's what it is. You just need it.
Is it going to look bad if the Dolphins just have a dud?
No, it's not like it's saying the Dolphins are going to smash. It's saying that for their prices and ownership, they project pretty well. But there's lots of teams that it likes just straight up more than the Dolphins.
Okay, hit that thumbs up button on your way out the door. Give me those tummy thumbs. Hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Hit the notification bell to know when we go live. We got tons of premium content, tons of other shows here on the YouTube channel. We got the Sunday block The Sunday block, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, all the way up until lock on Sunday. So tune in for all of those shows that morning, and I'll be back on Monday, as I'm always here, Monday through Friday, 11 o'clock Eastern, talking about all things you're thinking about in daily fantasy, props, and pick'em on RotoGrinders Today.